So at the top of Victoria Hall, they have this really cool town clock that's up there. I'll try to zoom in here for you. Try to keep it centered a little bit. But it's very iconic. I mean, in Coburg, everybody draws and paints this thing. I think it's super interesting. I think it's worth trying to do a YouTube video for it. So I'll show you what it is that I do, how it is that I get started on something like this, and let's see if it turns out. But I get questioned a lot about where to start. How do I start a drawing? How do I start a painting? And I think we'll have a look at that today. All right, so this thing is very long, so it would be a huge mistake to start to draw it landscape. So I'm going to draw it portrait, and if I'm thinking about how is that I get this entire thing on the page, I got to think about what is the entire thing. So one of the things that I talk about really often is narrowing your focus. You know, focus, thumbnail, edit. Well, I'm not doing any thumbnails today. I'm doing just, this is field study work, so there's no thumbnails that are needed. If you want to do a thumbnail on it, there's no reason why you can't, but I'm just thinking about the length of this thing, and I'm looking at the width of it and the length of it and how to get it on the page. I think the little at the top of the spire where the little weather vane is, the little wind direction thingy is important to this. So I know that that's going to be about this much of the page. So the rest of it is only got, you know, a fairly small amount of the page. And I'm going to do what I normally do. I'm going to look at what is the closest line to me and how to build up the lines from that. And the closest line to me is the square of the top part, and I'm going to put that very low on my page. And it actually falls off to the left and to the right. And right above this is an opening where one of the hexagon sides faces me, and I'm just going to put that on very small to begin with, maybe double up my lines here, and think about where that arch is. So there's an arch here. Good way to draw an arch is to just make a line going from the left to the right and from the right to the left, and then don't worry about completing it or finishing it at this particular point. There's a lot of lines above this up to here. On the left of this is another opening, another archway opening like this, and that line falls down to the left, and the one on the right falls down to the right. Okay, and of course they are not going to go as high as this, so I'm going to put in a couple of small lines right now, and I'm not going to join anything together. All right, just like that. This one's going to be higher than this, and this one's going to be higher than this, and then I'm just going to put in the arch. That's it. I'm just going to do that. This line is going to come down away from this, and this line is going to come down away from this. Just like that's all you're going to do for now. On the outside of this is this part is also over here, but you only see a piece of it. The same over here. You only see a piece of it. Okay? And then this actually has a section that juts out, and this has a section that juts out. We're just going to put a couple of lines on the page for now that denote that. Right above these is where the clock is, and the clock is sort of on an angle. For now, there's a part on the top of the clock that comes up like this. There's a part of the top that comes up like that. And then I'm going to pick this area right here. I'm going to draw an arch and an arch and an arch and an arch. And these come back up towards that. At the top here, there's this, and there's another archway that comes up. like that. There's a couple of decorative sort of scrolly things on top of that. I'm not going to do all of that. And then the weather vane, which is going to come across like this. Then the arrow, which is going to come across like that. And that's it. And everything that you do after this is just for you. Okay? Okay, and it is currently 9:15. And that's that. There's a lot of work here that could be done. I'm not saying it necessarily has to be done in order for somebody to read this correctly, or to read it the way that you want them to read it, I guess is just as important. I'm going to go back through this a little bit, and I'm going to double up some of my lines just to give them a little bit more strength and definition. And you'll find that doubling up your lines sometimes will start to make your will start to help you figure out what is it that's important on the page and what is it that's really not so important on the page. And again, remembering that this is a field study. This is not meant to be a finished piece of work. This is meant to get laid down on the page fairly quickly and fairly rapidly, and not worry about correctness, not worry about what it is that is going to tell the story or what's not going to tell the story. This is about your experience on the page in a fairly quick, rapid manner. So that's it. That's all that I'm going to do for this particular piece. If you learned anything from me today, please click like. If you're currently a subscriber, I thank you very much. And if you're not currently a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. I hope you get out into the real world and you try to make some art outside. It's a lot of fun. It should be very quick, and it should be a great experience for you if you follow some of the tricks that I show you here on my YouTube channel. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you again next time. Hey, one of the ways that artists make money is by having YouTube channels. And one of the ways that I've chosen on YouTube to make money is by having links in the description to the products that I actually use. Products that I know will work for you. So if you go into those links and follow that off to Amazon and buy whatever art supplies it is that you require to make your art, I would really, really appreciate it. It would be a really big favor to me. Thanks a lot for checking out my YouTube channel, and we'll see you again next time.